And good evening, everyone. Great to have you here on a Monday night. New York State is taking a huge step forward in protecting the privacy and the safety of children while they're on social media and other online sites. Tonight, we're going in depth on two bills that passed overwhelmingly in the state legislature and that the governor has said she will sign into law, though they are certain to face some legal challenges. Talk about that in a moment. First, though, this is the Safe for Kids Act, which will require TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and other social media companies to restrict addictive feeds that are generated by algorithms for those under 18 unless there is parental consent. Without consent, the feed will have to be of content that the users that the kids follow or general popular content. The state attorney general will be able to bring civil action against social media companies for any violations. The other bill is called the New York Child Data Protection Act. It will make it illegal for sites to collect, use, or sell personal information from anyone under 18 unless there's consent. Again, the AG will be empowered to enforce this law as well.
Our number one objective was to protect children. We were concerned about their mental health, and we were concerned about the impact of social media on their mental health. And so advocates and the elected officials, we all decided, obviously, to put forth some legislation to protect children online. And at the end of the day, you guys did it.
Both bills now go to the governor, who over the weekend called these measures a, quote, historic step forward in our efforts to address the youth mental health crisis and create a safer digital environment for young people. Joining me live right now is New York State Senator George Borrello, a Republican who represents the southern tier in our region. It's great to have you back on the show. You supported both of these bills. I think they passed unanimously in your chamber, passed overwhelmingly in the legislature in the final days. I gave a couple of bullet points there, but I wonder if you can expand on that and walk us through the difference that you think these measures will make in protecting our kids online at a time when there is so much focus on the mental health care and the safety of kids with all of these threats that are out there.
Well, first of all, Michael, good to be back on with you. And let's just say this. Anytime that we know something has been engineered to be addictive, we have moved to protect our children from it. And that's exactly what these bills do. We know that social media has a huge impact on our children. We know that these algorithms are designed to push content on them. And most importantly, we're not protecting our children's data. The Privacy Act, which is really the Children's Privacy Act, which passed unanimously, does exactly that. It says that the only data that can be used is when it absolutely is needed to provide the service. And it ensures that children under 13 have to have parental permission in order to have that data used. You know, it's said that by the time a child reaches the age of 13, they've had 73 million data collections off of their profiles from being online. This is scary, and we're seeing the impacts of it. We're seeing an increase in mental health issues, in suicides, and in irrational behavior by children, largely because they are literally addicted to social media and other online platforms.
Senator, the trade group called NetChoice represents several of the big tech companies, social media sites, and that group says this is a violation of the First Amendment. It accused you and your colleagues of, quote, trying to replace parents with government. It seems certain they're going to sue, right? They have a lot of money with which to file lawsuits. Are you confident that this will withstand any type of court challenge?
Yes, I think it will. First of all, they're trying to replace parents with bots. And they're doing it for profit. You know, these social media companies are making billions of dollars by selling data, our children's data, so that these advertisers can then turn around and push things that have been proven to be, I guess, addictive to our children. So I reject that this is a First Amendment issue. Quite frankly, this is a child safety issue. And most importantly, they are profiting at the expense of our children's mental health and safety. And I'm positive this will survive a legal challenge.
Senator, this was one of those I wouldn't say rare, but somewhat rare instances in which there was huge bipartisan support. I know that the legislative session is now over. I read the statement that you put out. I know a lot of issues that you cared deeply about did not get addressed in the past legislative session, but I would ask you, what do you think was left on the table as you and your colleagues are now off for the rest of the year, barring a special session, which seems very possible, especially with the change the governor made with congestion pricing?
Well, yes, that was a surprise to everyone, including the Democrats, that she, at the 11th hour, pulled the congestion pricing, which has left $1 billion hole in the MTA budget. But this is the tug of war that goes on between these, these radical advocates and those in Albany that wish to placate them. So what's left on the table is anything common sense that we could do to restore public safety and affordability in New York State. Unfortunately, as much as I agree with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle when it comes to protecting our children and their privacy, we have very big rifts between us when it comes to what is best for New Yorkers. And unfortunately, we've seen the impact of that. And most New Yorkers believe New York is headed in the wrong direction. So we need some wholesale change and some common sense to restore order and affordability here in New York State.
State Senator George Borrello is from Chautauqua County, represents the 57th District in the State Senate. Thanks for your time, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you.